Okay, now I can see you. That's perfect. Hello, everybody. Good evening. Hi there. Thanks for being here. Thank you. And I'm also curious to know there may be a slight delay. So, hello, hello. Thank you for being here, guys. We're going to get started in just a minute. Wanted to give people an opportunity to show up. And what I'm going to do is talk to you guys a little bit about the idea of micromagic and what that means to me, how I've been using it, ways it might be useful to you, and then we're going to work through a meditation as a group to help you come up with your own micromagic ideas. So, this is still going to be, I hope, a relaxing, restorative opportunity for you. But I'm also hoping that you're going to leave this little workshop feeling jazzed and inspired and having some ideas to take some action. So, hi dearie, good to see you. All right, so I'm going to get started. So, a few months ago, I had spoken on the channel about the idea of micromagic, and I'd also written a rather lengthy blog post about the idea of micromagic. You can find that on my blog. It's 20 Ideas for Micromagic. But the original conversation was about using magic and our spiritual practices to affect the world at large, to affect the greater good. And there was a lot of discussion at the time, about group hexings or group workings. Does this work? Does lighting candles do anything to alleviate suffering in the world? And I thought that that was a really interesting conversation. And some of the voices said, absolutely yes, this is what we must do. It's our responsibility as practitioners. And then other people that felt that perhaps we were hiding behind our altars when things got tough. And I think that both are legitimate frustrations. So I'd like to know what you guys think about that as well. I'm going to try my best to keep up with the comments and keep the workshop rolling. So, and I'd like to preface this by saying I am not knocking the idea of performing magic as a way to offer healing or to offer support or to attempt to change events. I think it's a fantastic way to express solidarity. So sometimes the enormity of issues in the world and the amount of noise that we experience can make us feel hopeless. And I think that there is a happy medium between being behind our altars and hiding and doing nothing versus flailing around trying to fix everything and in that effort actually fixing nothing. So I think there is a middle way, and that's where micromagic comes in. So what the heck is micromagic? So this idea is to pair a bite-sized ritual with a bite-sized action in your mundane life that will be repeated. The idea is that they support each other. So the purpose of ritual, we know what that is, right? The purpose of ritual is to make external changes to create internal changes, or creating internal changes or experiences to create an experience in the external world. So the idea of micromagic is to create an internal support mechanism for that external action and really combining our ethics with our magical intent. And using this approach to be an agent of change in the world. So, I'd like to talk just a little bit. Well, actually, let's see here. What's going on in the comments? All right. meditating, sending energies, and lighting candles for people who need it. Doing something is doing something, from lighting a candle to marching in a big metropolitan area. That is absolutely true. So I'm going to talk just a little bit about why this micro magic idea is working for me personally right now, and perhaps this may be helpful to some of you. That it's hard to try to care about all of the things and not totally lose your mind. As I was talking about alleviating those feelings of helplessness and isolation, and micromagics allows us to step into our power and fulfill our potential. So the other reason is the only person, the only mind that you have control of is your own. So it allows us to have personal responsibility, to have efficacy, and gives us the opportunity to show people instead of telling people. So showing versus telling can also ultimately help us raise awareness around things that may be important to us, that speak to our hearts and to our purpose. So it also allows us to potentially build community as well. So micromagics can help make us more effective as both activists, if that's the way you like to see yourself, or as a magical practitioner or light worker, whichever of those names suits you the best. And by being effective, what I mean is, the example I think of is, in those old kung fu movies, there's always a scene where the kung fu master is fighting some jerk who busts in, and he's always kind of like, just one of the troop of the opposing, and he's flipping his nunchucks around and screaming and being crazy and shows him all kinds of crazy stuff that he can do, and then the kung fu master comes in with like 2 fingers and like boink hits the pressure point and totally defeats the enemy. That's how I like to think about micromagics as a tool. So yes, being the change we want to see in the world. Yeah, we're all about the kung fu hustle. So the other part with it being a kung fu pressure point is that it's sustainable. This is something that you are going to be able to do repeatedly and offer repeatedly and bring the best of yourself repeatedly, because I feel like if you're anything like me, part of, I think maybe anxiety might be the word for it, in getting involved in something big, something bigger than yourself, is that it means it's going to have to be overwhelming. It means it's going to have to be demanding and all-consuming, and burnout is real. So sustainability is one of the perks of micromagics. So in creating your own micromagics, moving along here. Hello from Sheboygan. Hello. My auntie lives in Sheboygan. I drive through it all the time. But moving on with your own micromagics, I think that specificity is really the key. And what I mean by that is choosing something that matters to you, that is really specific. So a cause that would be close to you. And I have a list here of just a few. This is just what I rambled off the top of my head before we got together here today. But there are hundreds of thousands of options. And some of them might be, your passion might be for education, for literacy, for fighting homelessness, or for fighting child hunger, animal welfare, wildlife preservation, the creation of green spaces. It could be end-of-life rites or burial. Life transitions might be what you're interested in. human rights, environmental protections, energy, the future of energy. It could be about domestic violence or nutrition. Mental health is a big one. I know for a lot of you speak to me about that regularly. Local government, sustaining arts or sustaining arts education or bringing arts education to people, providing access to resources for people, community building. It could even just be messaging through your art, whatever that is, your creative outlets. Those are just a couple of ideas. If you guys have anything that you're particularly passionate about or currently doing any work on, pop those in the comments. We would love to see them, and I would love to see them. And it may help inspire somebody else to figure out what their micro magic cause, even if it's just for tonight, for the sake of our exercise together, what it could be. So, all right, we have volunteering, giving blood, teaching the young. Those are all fantastic ideas. All right. And while you guys pop those in the comments, I'm going to move forward here with this idea of distillation. So we have all of these things that we could choose from, all of these things that we care about, right? All of those things that are important to us. And then you say, oh my God, but I can't save all the dolphins myself. No, you can't. But what we can do is distill. So imagine, okay, so we're going to look at sort of an inverted pyramid right now. And what we're going to do is go from the huge, big, overarching idea and a little filter down to sort of the middle idea where we can get some information, all the way down to that little point where we have that accessible, actionable thing that we can do. Okay? So that inverted pyramid of distillation, bringing it down. So I'm going to give you an example here. So let's say that what your passion, your cause, your calling to create micro magics around is the environment. Okay, the environment is huge, right? So then the next level would be, after doing a little bit of soul searching or some journaling and researching, to say, maybe it's water health. Maybe that's what's really important to me. And from there, you can go down and say, I'm going to join my local lake preservation organization, or find an organization that I can make a small sustaining monthly donation to, or I'm going to take it upon myself to walk this lake once a month and pick up garbage from the shore. Is that making sense? The idea of moving downward here. The other one is like, oh my gosh, extinction. It's huge, right? So wildlife preservation, moving that down into talking to somebody from your local DNR, getting some pamphlets, doing your research online, talking to a friend, finding somebody who can help you, and then realizing, you know what, there's a bat population problem or a bee population issue where I live, and then your micro magic action would be to put up a bat house or to create a butterfly garden in your front yard. So those are just some examples of distillation. All right, so we have lots of ideas here. Providing first support for people who might not have support. That's a great idea. Local long-term care facility, that's a big one. I feel like these are people that are often forgotten and need our attention and our energy the most. So, local. Yes, think global and work locally. That's perfect, because that is going to be my next point, which is thinking globally and acting locally, like hyper locally, like within your own home or your own workplace or your own neighborhood. All right. So what we're going to do, if everybody's ready, we're going to move forward with the meditation portion of this workshop. So I'm going to light a little incense for us and get comfortable because my foot's falling asleep. And what I'd like you to do in that time, if you can, is think of, if you don't already have something that you are feeling compelled to work on, think of something that you feel called to, even if it's just for the sake of the exercise tonight. And I'm going to get us situated, and we're going to use that idea to build in our meditation tonight. So continue to put your awesome comments in there as well. All right. I have a little bit of music on too as well. Is that all right for you guys? Is it too loud, or can you hear it at all? Situated. Okie dokes. Wonderful. Okay, just want to make sure. Sometimes I know the music can be a little overwhelming when you're listening to a meditation, and I love the ambient sound to help me get focused, but if it's blaring and distracting, that's no good. Okay. So, do you guys have your ideas ready? So what we're going to do tonight for the meditation portion is we're going to go through a short-ish guided meditation using the elements to give us some ideas and some insight and really get clear about a way we can use micro magic and potentially help you distill some ideas for the future. So, to get started, if you have the treat of being somewhere undisturbed for probably the next 15, possibly 20 minutes, that would be preferable. And just take a couple of breaths. Letting yourself fill up. Just relax. You can roll your shoulders a couple times. Feels good. Right. Letting the roof of your mouth relax. So I'd like you to imagine that you are standing in a vast green meadow. It's full of tall grasses and bobbing flowers. At the peak of summertime. You can hear the hum of pollinating insects around you, birds. This beautiful, serene space. And in this meadow, there are large stones scattered around the landscape. And in this way, we are going to connect to the element of earth. So it's symbolic of our physicality, of our 3D reality, of wealth of the body, of resources. So see if you can tap in and appreciate their strong presence, the richness, and their knowledge of place and their unique perspective of time. And connecting to these stones in our meadow, we're going to reach out and ask for insights about our own resources, about what's available to us. And that's not just money. It's about time. Energy is a resource. Our locale, modes of transportation, physical objects. And that element of earth helping us assess everything we have available to us to use or offer as a tool. Asking the stones to impart any wisdom about resources at your disposal to aid you in making a positive change in the world. Hearing what they have to say. Thanking the stones for their insights now. You feel a breeze traveling across the meadow. The flowers and the grasses are blowing and waving as it meets them. And you can smell the green fragrance of this place. And you can smell rain coming on the wind. And this breeze moves through your hair and cools the back of your neck. This is the element of air coming to you as the wind. As this beautiful breeze, the element of the mind, of inspiration, of the intellect. So reaching out to the wind now, reaching out with your heart, we're going to ask for guidance about what we need to learn. Is there something specific that we can investigate and become curious about to help us in our micro magic mission? Or perhaps is there something that worries us, that we are concerned about, that research and discussion could illuminate for us? Allowing the wind to whisper to you and listening to what it says. And when you feel complete with that, the breeze grows stronger to become a wind, and you can feel it carrying clouds across the sky. And you thank the wind for its message. And you feel a cool touch on your shoulder now, and then on your forearm, and the top of your head. And you look up to see that it's beginning to rain. A soft, sprinkling rain. It feels great. And the element of water is going to speak to us as a summer shower. And that warm, refreshing rain travels down on your skin, down along the tall stalks of the grass, and it seeps into the soil. And from the soil it flows into puddles, joining into creeks and streams, to rivers, to oceans, where it travels back up into the clouds and back through creatures, connecting all of us. So reaching out now with your heart to water, to the rain, we ask for guidance about connecting, to show us now possibilities for connection and community. Connection through family, co-workers, school peers, online platforms like this one, organizations. Allowing water to show you all of the ways that you could experience connection in relation to your micro magic mission. And as the shower begins to subside, the sun begins to peak again. You can see in the distance that the rain you smelled, that the storm you sensed, is out on the horizon. And the purple clouds are moving quickly, bringing that life-giving rain, bringing it across the land, and you see an electric blue flash out on the horizon. And the element of fire is speaking to you through lightning. Fire, the element of will, energy, passion, and action. And as you see that lightning jumping from cloud to cloud, You reach out to the energy of fire and allow it to show you an action that you are within your power to take right now. And allowing that information to come to you without judgment, just sensing it in any way that feels true for you. It might not make total sense right now, and that's okay. It will later. Experiencing what lightning has to tell you about your action. And when you feel complete with that, the storm rolls on, and you thank the lightning for its wisdom as the meadow becomes pastoral and calm and lazy once again. Fragrant, teeming with life. And you see a faint rainbow begin to form, arching over you, arching over the meadow. Feeling inspired and supported by the earth, the air, the fire, the water. Supported in your mission with new ideas and possibilities. And now imagine that you can see everyone that's here tonight, everyone that's tuning in for this feed, and anyone who may watch it in the future, that you're all in the meadow together. We're all under that rainbow, in that tall grass with you, here to encourage and hold space for one another, to lend each other strength in our micro magics, in our quest to be the best that we can with everything that we have. Great work, everybody. And so now, gently bring yourself back by wiggling your toes. You can wiggle your fingers, rolling the shoulders. Get some energy moving back in your body and open your eyes. Give everybody a few minutes to come back. All right. Beautiful work, everybody. So, with that, I'm going to call this Elemental Micro Magics workshop complete. I would like to encourage you that if you received any insights from this meditation, to write them down. Share them in the comments. Share them with each other. We're all in it together, right? So, thank you so much to everybody who made it here live, and to anybody who will be watching this. Don't worry if you came in midstream, this will be posted to the page. So, I wish you a good night, merry micro magic making, witch on, witch boldly, and be well, friends. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.